When it comes to delegating, when it comes to like start delegating some, tasks, some stuff in our business, that's pretty hard to do, and like we don't usually know what to do in that case. First of all, we don't really want to do it, which is something that we should like think about at some point in our business, right? Because this is the whole point. The whole point of having your own business, like being an entrepreneurship and a businessman, businesswoman, is like to have freedom, right? To have freedom to do like whatever you want. So for you to do that, you have to create systems. So this video will be about like creating systems, how to go about that, how to create an effective system to optimize your business. This is this is a huge summary, right, of what I've learned so far, what I've done personally, and what I've seen other people do it, right? So the first thing that you need to look at, first of all, what is this? Like, why do you have to delegate? Why do you do it, right? So basically, you do this just because you want to scale in a efficient way and focus on activities that maximize growth. As I explained this, you guys are gonna know what I mean by this. But basically, you're gonna focus. The first thing that you need to focus on, like the first thing that you need to look at, is what is taking most of your time. Like, identify repetitive and time-consuming tasks. And what I mean by this is like, what is something that you do all over again, and like you just feel like somebody could do it very easily, like it just doesn't have to be you. If you're like on if you're on meetings with like people, if you're making videos on social media, of course that has to be you, okay? Because people want to see you, right? But when it comes to like repetitive tasks like back-end work, you don't really have to be there, so that's the first thing that you need to look at. Just look at this is pretty self-explanatory, like just identify repetitive and time-consuming tasks. And what I mean by this is like, that's pretty self-explanatory, right? There's really nothing much else to explain. So what you should focus on is like, and honestly, you're gonna like notice this from the very beginning, from the get-go. You'll be like, oh, okay, so this is kind of boring because it doesn't really change anything. It never changes. So what you do is like you can just like have somebody else do it for you, so you can like take yourself off the equation and continue with your task to maximize growth. Okay, so this is all about like optimizing your business, your system, in order to like maximize growth, right? So that's basically what this means. And you're gonna do this by hire VAs, okay? If you do not know what that is, these are basically, let me look it here, virtual assistants, okay? You do this by hiring a virtual assistant, and this is how, if we have an online business, like a virtual thing, it makes sense to hire and work with people that are also working remotely, right? We're not gonna have an office for this, so because we have to like share what we preach, and that's basically part of it, right? So a virtual assistant is basically an independent person that's gonna work for you, okay? Either part-time, full-time. You're the one that decides how much help you need from a person like this, right? You can start with a part-time employee and just go from there. It doesn't have to be like full-time right out of the bat. Especially if you're just like starting out, that's totally fine. If you just don't want somebody to, if you just don't want to like, if you don't want to pay somebody like full time, if you really don't have to, that's fine. There's a lot of people that are down for that. There's a lot of virtual assistants, especially in Latin America, Asia, that you can hire them for like $2-3 an hour, and that's very good over there. That's very good money over there. But while in the US, you would have to, you would hire pretty much the same person with the same skills, but like for about $10, $11 an hour, right? So that's a huge jump right there in like money wise. So that's something you want to avoid. And there's a lot of talent, honestly, in Latin America. I'm from Latin America, and I'm into this. So, and I also know people that either work remotely or have their own businesses. And but usually I know people in the US that hire people from Asia, right? Just, they speak English over there. I mean, not as their first language, but like they are usually well educated and they speak English. So that's why they prefer to hire people from like overseas over there. But you can also look for people in America. I mean, people are usually very nice over there. I'm nice. I'm from Latin America actually, so here you have like a living example, right? So yeah, you're gonna do this by hiring VAs. You can have like a spreadsheet, like a Google Drive with some guidelines for your first week, your second week, your third week, and like just get them going. And if you don't like them, you can just look for other people, other talent, and that's no problem. You can you have to try out a lot of things, a lot of people in your business, and if they don't work, that's fine. I mean, it's not the end of the world, right? People do this all the time, companies usually. I've also been an employee before, and I've seen people come and go, so that's totally fine. Don't feel bad if a person doesn't fit in your company. You can just let them go, or if they want to go, just let them go. But if they're if you notice that they have like very good talent, if there's a lot of talent in them, you may want to keep them somehow, right? That's the goal of this, to like have the best talent in your team, and be a good boss and know how to delegate, right? And so this is pretty much what you do. And I really quick wanted to talk about this. You should not be delegating stuff. Like, you should not be delegating tasks, repetitive tasks, and everything that we've been talking about. You should not be doing any of this if you haven't actually done it yourself. Okay, so what I mean by this is that basically, so let's just take Amazon PPC and YouTube for example, right? So when it comes to running campaigns on Amazon PPC, I always compare the Amazon business and the YouTube business, like the content creation business, because it's something that I also do, right? I also run a YouTube channel. So I always like to compare both of these businesses, both of these worlds, and try to set an example for in both scenarios, in both businesses. So basically, you should think about this. How are you gonna ask somebody else to do something that you've never done or that you've never mastered, right? First of all, you have to do something and then master it. Once you master it, that's exactly when you should start delegating. Okay, you should start like telling people how to do stuff, when to do stuff, and basically that's pretty much what we should be doing. You really should not be doing any of this stuff if you haven't actually, first of all, done it yourself, and second, and most importantly, mastered it. Okay, so you have to be basically not a pro, but you have to know exactly what you're doing step by step before you actually move on to the delegating process. I hope that makes sense for you guys. And I also wanted to give out the example of like YouTube, of editing. That when you run a YouTube channel and you have a small channel, you have to record, you have to edit, you have to do everything yourself. Think about this. You should be focusing on learning how to edit first, and then hire an editor for your company, for your business, for your channel, and then it's gonna make sense, right? You don't want to hire somebody when you like haven't mastered the editing. When you have no editing skills and you're just like trying to figure out what's going on, right? So that's basically what I meant by that. And it works the same way with any aspect of the Amazon business, Amazon PPC, product research, launching, everything that has to do with your packaging, your brand. It all comes in one single skill, right? Which is you running effectively an Amazon FBA business. So that's what I have for you guys. That's what I wanted to talk about today. Creating systems, how to start delegating. If you guys have any questions about this, or you want to talk about this, which I love This topic is just very interesting, honestly, because sometimes we don't want to, like, start delegating, but it's necessary at some point. So this is Oscar from MC One Step. Guys, we help Amazon brands start and grow their brand, listing images, conversion rate, and much more. So if you need help with any of that, please feel free to visit our website and schedule a call with us. Thanks for watching, guys, and please take care. Bye.